they were warriors when they were playing throughout the World Cup. But at the final game,
They just lost it.
yeah.
And I mean, that Paredes is a nutcase. The guy that grabbed somebody by the throat.
Oh yeah, God.
That's just not.
Was was it not him who elbowed the other guy on the match against England?
Maybe. I can't remember.
I'm not
Probably
sure
was.
if it was him.
I do know that Spain, at the end of the game, though, they went up to him and they were trying to wind him up.
Yeah.
But there's still no excuse for him to. He didn't just grab somebody by the throat for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
But even if somebody calls you or your family member an awful word, you do not grab somebody by the throat.
You don't do that.
That's but they provoked him. I don't know why. They should have just been celebrating the win. But
do you mind if I just get a chair, James?
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Just won't force it too much. So no, that was just a nightmare. Well, it was an extra attraction, let's put it that way.
Yeah. I think that with all the silly singing and dancing before the game started, I was just wanting to get the game to start. And I think in a way, they're trying to advertise, the World Cup final, not just to people who like football or sports, but people who are into music festivals, you know what I mean? Like, they're not happy enough with just sports fans watching the World Cup final. They want to have millions of people, like children and everything, watching it who are not even sporty people.
Yeah, no, that's it.
It's just a shame that
it was
ruining the game.
But as we say, it needs to happen sometimes for them to get organized better for the next one. But we know next one's going to happen exactly the same. We're trying to be, confident. Well, next time's going to be a better one. I still, as I say, some of the matches are still okay to watch it and just try to enjoy a little bit.
Yeah, the best thing is just to pick and choose. What you think could be good. There were still some very good games. I still enjoyed the excitement of England Mexico was a good one.
Oh yeah, it was quite a lot of good games, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it was like England France. I didn't watch that because I missed that.
Oh.
I don't remember what I was doing. But when I saw the score at the end 6-4, I was like, what? That was a game I really wanted to see, but...
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah.
I like that Cape Verde game.
Yeah, Cape Verde were my favourite team of the tournament in the end. They were great.
Oh, the ones who were playing with Argentina. And
Cape Verde,
best.
They were so good.
Yeah.
Because that goalkeeper was amazing.
Well, I missed most of them. I missed most of them.
They all had other jobs as well.
Well, yeah.
So they weren't just footballers.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't survive all of the football, unfortunately.
But not living there.
Yeah. But you see, when it's a lot of people, they are dedicated to do something for. Now you can tell it's for the passion. It is for the passion. When others, like for example, the Brazilian team, when they lost, only one football player went back to Brazil on the plane because everybody else disappeared. Someone else, they didn't even go for a meal. Neymar went back to Colorado, I think, somewhere California, I don't know. The other guys just somewhere else went to Spain, another person went to Ibiza, and they just disappeared with the shame. And it was a thing in Brazil when people were saying, well, they didn't even represent us, and then at the end they just left. Disgraceful.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more, But...
Yeah. But I think that Spain didn't have any standout players. They necessarily. They just had all the players played as a team.
Exactly.
Unselfishly. I mean, in the end, they were giving a special award to Rodri, and he wasn't better than anybody else. They all played well, and so I think that's what the teams lacked. And
well, yeah. When I saw Spain went for the finals, I had 8%. I was 80% sure they would win. I was 80% sure they would win against Argentina.
Yeah.
Even though knowing Argentina is a great team, but the way they play was just like, as a team. not try to be individual, try to be, oh, I'm the better here, so let me be the
I was
protagonist.
disappointed in Argentina because they had played as a team quite a lot
Yeah, but
before
they
the
lost it at the
final.
end.
Yeah, they just lost it.
Yeah.
I think they just I think the manager made a mistake choosing the players that he chose because he played in a way their best 11 players straight away.
Yeah.
And when he made substitutions, it just made the team weaker and weaker and weaker. So they ended up really weak in the end. And Spain, they were replacing great players with more great players.
Yeah.
So they stayed equally. It's almost like somebody who wins the 100 meters doesn't speed up at the end to win the race. It's everybody else who slows down.
Yeah.
They just maintain their form better. And I think Spain didn't play any better as the game went on. They just played the same for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Argentina started off in a way equal to Spain. There was not much between the two teams, and then in the end, Argentina got weaker and weaker and weaker. And I mean, they were unlucky to have two central defenders getting injured. Very unlucky for Argentina. But they didn't have Paredes from the start. So that was the first time they didn't play a defensive midfielder from the start. I don't know why, but they started off with like all their strong Rodrigo de Paul, Enzo, Fernandez, all their strongest players attacking wise were on the pitch. Apart from I can't say his name, Martinez, the striker. And he never came on. I don't know why they never brought him on. Even when they needed a goal, they didn't bring him on, even in extra time. So he must have been injured, but they didn't want anybody to know it. Must have been injured. So that was, because even when they took off Alvarez, the striker Alvarez went off. And they
Oh, really? I didn't see that one.
He went off near the end. I mean, he would have if it got to penalties, he would have taken a penalty. But they took off Alvarez and put a defender on.
Yeah.
And then Spain scored, so that was a big mistake. And then and they used up all their substitutions, but they didn't take off Alvarez and bring on Martinez, who surely could have played midfield / striker. Could have changed from one to the other and grafted, but no. So I was really surprised. He must have been injured, but I think the manager made a big mistake, playing no defensive midfielder from the start, and then bringing on players that were obviously not as good. He played all his best cards at the first half, so we had nothing else to do but to take players off. And then Enzo got sent off. That was another disadvantage to Argentina. I don't think he meant to be so rash. I think he literally, he was stupid for going in with both feet into the challenge. But I think he thought, oh, if I just win the ball, I could run down the pitch and score. I think he was trying to win the ball, putting too much effort into the tackle, because he thought, if I get this ball, I could run down the pitch and score a winning goal here. And then he stupidly just put 2 feet in, and you're going to get sent off for things like this. So it's really bad discipline, stupid decision, but I don't think he meant to injure the other player. Because it really looked bad. The other player went flying in the air, somersault almost. It was like watching the circus.
Oh, really? Was that bad?
Well, no, I think he threw himself. I think he was making sure that Enzo was sent off.
Yeah.
I think, which is nothing wrong with that, because Spain had every right to make sure the referee, who was too soft anyway with the cards, making sure that the referee did apply the red card, which is the yellow card again for the red, and he should have done. It was definitely a bookable offence, and so Spain were just making sure they win the final by having players sent off. So I still think they would have won anyway if it was 11 against 11. Spain would still have eventually won. Even if it goes to penalties, I still think Spain would have won on penalties because Argentina were just they just weren't focused enough. And then even Messi misses penalties, so he's not guaranteed to score his.
Oh well, yeah, exactly.
I was waiting for them to go to penalties and think Messi. I think he's going to miss. Just like, remember that final in 1994 when Brazil won the World Cup and Roberto Baggio missed his penalty?
Oh yeah, God almighty, the entire country just went, ooh.
Yeah. I mean, he never missed penalties, and yet it's the first one I ever saw him miss. And I just thought Messi's going to miss a penalty in the World Cup final, Yeah.
Sometimes it's just crazy how these things go, seriously.
I mean, Brazil won the World Cup in 1994 without even playing R9, Ronaldo.
Well,
He didn't even
yeah.
play at all.
That's why I was confused because all the time they keep saying Ronaldo, 1994, blah blah blah, Ronaldo, but they say,
He
hold
didn't
on.
play.
Yeah, and it was like he was 17 or 19 at the time, I don't know. And I was thinking like, no, he was not there. And then I had to go, and check if Ronaldo was there. Yeah, he was there, but he didn't play.
They kept playing the same team every single match.
Yeah.
No one was rested. They just passed it around, but they didn't get tired because they just passed it around really well.
Yeah.
And Bebeto played in that World Cup, and he was still young. Because Bebeto looked really old 4 years later. If it was 4 years later, Bebeto would have been taken off for a rest.
Yeah.
But in that game, he managed to still survive till the end in every game. Yeah.
No, that was the team. No,
Yeah.
my memories just bring me back to 1994. Really.
Yeah, they were just too good. They did all that with they had Cafu, but no Roberto Carlos till the time after.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Taffarel. It was almost. I mean, he's a decent goalkeeper, but it didn't even have to have a good goalkeeper.
Yeah. No, that was a legend, seriously.
Yeah, they had players that were just like, because now all these foreigners that have moved from country to country, we get to know them all. But there were players that, like, when I watched the World Cup, I was like, who is this guy? Marcio Santos, Aldair, who are these people? Mazinho, who's that? And like they were just amazing. And
because it was so many good players back then, but only few of them get the, only few of them being known as like Bebeto and Romario. They are like the bloods of the soul. They used to call them because they knew exactly what to do when they were moving around there.
Yeah.
And then
Romario was just he had one type of goal, toe poke.
Yeah.
The toe poke.
Yeah.
He picked it up, usually at the edge of the box, took a touch and toe poked it under the keeper's chest.
But he was a legend because he didn't like even to train.
No,
he didn't.
No, you're right.
No, because people are saying, well, you don't like to score the penalty, no? Say, no. And then the reporter said, well, you never actually like to train. No, I still don't. I just go there and do what I need to do and that's it.
Yeah.
Say, but how could you be that good if you don't train well? Because I know how to play football. So
in those days, they could get away with it though. Now in football, you've got to be fitter. But he literally just stood around and got the ball and scored. He didn't do very much apart from the goals.
Well, yeah. But that was his job, just go and make the goals. Don't do anything, but make sure you score. And then he was doing it.
Yeah.
He was simply doing it. Like Garrincha was not the guy who was scoring goals all the time, but he was the one making the magic in the field, and everybody was looking at him. It was a spectacle, just to see him with the ball.
Yeah.
Nobody cares if he was going to score or not. Well, he did many times, but Pelé was known as, I'll do what you need to do. I'll score the goal, but he was not as good as the others when they were running around there. So they have the peculiarity.
Yeah.
And now nobody's doing nothing. They're just there, right? How much am I getting paid? Right, yeah, fair enough. Well,
I mean, that Morgan Rogers, he scored against Argentina. No, sorry, he set up a goal against Argentina. And I thought, he didn't do anything else in the whole game, that he did one contribution. And against Argentina, England, they did have a few players who didn't do too much in that game.
Yeah.
And he's just been signed by Chelsea for £100 and something million, Morgan Rogers. I mean, relatively speaking, he's not like, no one's worth that much, obviously, but he's not like 100. Why? He's not in that like bracket. I don't understand. And like, there's also another player who's been bought, or Enzo Fernandez was supposed to be worth that much if nobody's bought him. But I'm sure there's somebody else. There's two players, 100 something recently, and it's just it's crazy. I mean, if somebody bought, I don't know, let's say Messi had gone for 100 and something, you know what I mean? Then, well, he's actually older now, but you know what I mean? If it was, but Morgan, who is Morgan Rogers? It's like 100 and something million. It's just
I
ridiculous.
really, I don't understand where is this money coming from, because I've got
Yeah.
hundreds of millions.
You're right. How many people are going to go out and buy a Morgan Rogers football shirt? I mean, in the past, when somebody's been bought for that much money, it's been like a Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
So like everybody's going to go and buy a Ronaldinho football shirt for Barcelona, for example. Everybody. Or you go to AC Milan, everybody's going to buy an AC Milan Ronaldinho shirt. Of course they are. And so you get half the money back at least from football shirts.
Well, yeah.
So you can understand how they can get that much money to spend
Yeah, but God
when
almighty.
they sell all the shirts.
But why the amount of money could not be a little bit less?
Yeah. So if you, oh, that's it. Enzo, Chelsea paid 100 and something for Enzo years ago, and it's just ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, they either buy ridiculously rubbish players, or they buy like usually a world class player, but for some stupid amounts of money. Chelsea is just, I don't know what Chelsea's doing. I don't know what the strategy is, because they bought Casado. Moises Casado for about 100 million. They bought Enzo for 100 million. They bought Rodgers for 100 million, and then at the same time they won't buy anybody for a medium amount. They just buy Garnacho, who's horrible, rubbish, or they buy the other striker from Ipswich Town, who's been absolutely shocking. Can't remember his name. It's so bad. And Chelsea just seem to buy really poor players. Or you think, oh, they don't want to spend the money, fair enough. They don't want to spend too much money. I understand. And then they just, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, spend 100 million every now and again. Like,
you know, the first thing that comes to my mind, James, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but to me it's just another way of money laundering, because there's no other explanation.
yeah, you're right.
For that amount of money?
Yeah.
God
Yeah,
almighty,
it must be.
James, seriously, if they would buy another 10 great players, like, you know, poor kids, I'm not saying poor kids, but kids who actually can play, young kids, and just offer them 10 million, and you get a full team. But no, they spend 100 something thousand for one guy, when they could get another 10 for 10,000, and with pleasure, these kids, they would do the best what they could to play to get that money, you know. But, yeah, it's just a little mafia going around there, but wow.
I mean, you could probably buy 3 players from Bournemouth who have played really well last season and done so. But but Brighton, Bournemouth, teams like this.
Yeah.
You could buy 3 players from their teams who are better, like collectively, than one player like Morgan Rogers.
Yeah.
I don't know what is going on. I even think that there's a couple of Bournemouth players better than Morgan Rogers who would be cheaper. So it's just ridiculous.
Jesus, that is ridiculous, seriously.
Yeah, I'm only saying all this about Chelsea because my friend Simon, he supports Chelsea.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, that's why he's sent me a message asking me what I think about these things today.
I was thinking, for some reason, I thought you support Leeds.
No, he's from down south, and he lives in he lives in Broughton near Saltburn at the moment, near Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And but yeah, he supports Chelsea. I suppose Chelsea's from down south and he's from down south, but he said he's not even interested in England in the World Cup.
Oh, really?
He can't wait till it's over and the next season starts, because he just says, I'm not even interested in England. He's more interested in Chelsea. Yeah, so he was just asking me what I think to Morgan Rogers, and I just said, well, you need some better attacking players, because the ones you've got at the moment are not good enough.
Yeah.
Like Garnacho and etc. But I just said he's clearly not worth, even relatively speaking, anything like the transfer fee, and he agreed. I said, I suppose it's because they're not in the Champions League. They're going to struggle to get people to sign for the club. Perhaps they bought him because they thought nobody else will probably come. But he said that he's obviously agreed. They must be paying him quite a bit though, as well. Yeah, so it's just a bit ridiculous. So we'll have to see what happens. And Mourinho's at Real Madrid, so that'll be interesting. He's got quite a few new players. Whether he wanted them or not, I don't know. I think it's business as well with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Vinicius Junior still, he's still there. Have to see what Mourinho does with him. But I think Mbappe did play really well in the World Cup. I think you can't fault Mbappe in the French team. I think he always turned up and ran around and tried his best.
Well, yeah. But you know where the blame is gonna go, straight to him, yeah.
Oh yeah.
For being the best of the team, you'll take all the glory, but also when something goes wrong, you'll take all the.
Yeah, they'll find one time when you missed that chance against England, and that was the turning point. And then England scored again, and that's why they won 6-4. It'll all be Mbappe's fault. You're right.
Yeah. As I say, you can play. Look, for 10 years, you can be the best player ever. They're always gonna put you like on top. You make one mistake.
Yeah.
That's what it needs to
Yeah.
end 10 years of good career. Seriously,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes it's quite cruel how things work. But the guy mentioned something to me 2 days ago. He was saying, because we were just having like a random conversation, and I was just saying why people they all the time tend to only actually not see you when you make like a big mistake.
Yeah,
No
it's
matter.
it's the blame game, isn't it?
Yeah, no matter how good you are for 2-3 decades, you make one mistake one day, and they will remember you for that.
And like people who like review things on the internet, like people are more likely to do a bad review than go on and do a good review.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, James, nobody cares about the plane who set off and learned great. You know, every day, every second, there is a plane learned somewhere in the world. You just need one plane to crash. The entire world will talk about that plane.
Yeah.
But they're never going to say about all of the hundreds and thousands of planes who set off every single day as we speak. You know, it's the human nature to only learn how to criticize instead of giving credit. You know.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to Eddie on that day before we came here. You know, sometimes when some people they come to your life, it's like it's a gift when people walk into your life, but sometimes a blessing when some of them walk out of your life. Because, you know, really.
And you'll be getting ready to go to Brazil soon.
Soon, yeah, I still feel.
Yeah.
There's few things to sort out before I
Yeah.
go there. I need to buy some new luggage because the luggage I have there, if they are from almost 20 years ago, I used to use the same ones. It's because they were good, you know, good quality. They survived almost 20 years. But I think now, yeah, you better get like a pair of new, you know. There's nothing wrong on that one. And then my sister, she just messaged me if I can take a phone to her daughter because it's cheaper to buy a phone here than buying a phone in Brazil. And I said, yeah, with 60 quid you can get like a brand new phone from Amazon. Of course, it's not going to be the last model or anything like that. But last year when I went to Brazil, I bought my mother a Samsung for £69. Brand new one, great phone. So I was thinking, well, the old phone of mine is great. You know, it's only 3 years old phone. I just had to, just the contract finished. And I was already thinking of taking this phone to her. That's why I got a new contract for myself. And then when she was saying that, so at the end, I'm going to take this phone to her. I just need to fix the camera. It's about 75 or 80 pounds to fix the camera. But the phone in Brazil is worth about 500 quid.
Wow.
You know, when here I can get like 250 quid for that phone. You know, but in Brazil it's going to be like 2 months of wage of my sister working to pay off that phone. And so it's a lot cheaper, so I can just give her that for free, not spending much, and then she can pass her phone to her daughter.
Isn't it cheaper just to not, instead of flying direct to Brazil, you could go via Mexico and pick up the phone in Mexico?
No thanks. Thank you, James. Appreciate your concern. No. You know, there are some cheap tickets in there. I paid like £1,300. No. Yeah, it was almost 1,300 for myself, for Utsja, and the max was 980, something like that.
Actually, someone said to me many years ago, it was cheaper buying the flight in another country, like buying the tickets. I think that they bought the tickets in Spain.
Yeah.
To fly to Spain. It was cheaper to buy the tickets in Spain than it was to buy them in England.
Well, before it was.
And the family member would send the tickets to them.
Yeah. Well, before it was, but now it would be almost the same because I tried to do that for some of my guests. So when they come like from Portugal, Spain, or Italy, sometimes I tell them, look, you buy the ticket in there. When you get here, I'll give you the money back. It's going to be cheaper. And then, oh yeah, I found very cheap tickets here. So for example, I'll pay 80 quid, for example, to come from Italy. They would say, oh, I found one for 45. It's almost half of the price. But and then they would go to Gatwick, Luton, to Heathrow, and I'm like, yeah, and then I'm going to spend another £100 to go down there to pick them up. So, you know. Yeah. So I don't know. Before it used to be, but now it's not much difference really. It's not much difference.
So is it a direct flight?
No. We're going to Manchester, Lisbon, São Paulo. It's easier for me, to be honest with you, and it's faster going that way. Otherwise, straight flight would have to go to Heathrow, and to get to Heathrow, we would have to be there 3 or 4 hours before the flight, and then taking the train. And then once you are there with all the luggage, you go to the underground. You need to take a taxi, and it's another 80 quid from taxi or Uber to get to the airport. So by the time I would leave home, for example, the flight would be 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I need to leave home around 8 in the morning to get to London around 10. And then to get out to go to the airport, be at the airport by...
It's not too bad changing flights.
No, it's not, and it's very quick. Because what we do, we just get to the train station and we're straight into the airport in Manchester. The train goes straight to the airport. All depending on the price, is about £80 to get an Uber to get there. You know, and yeah, we can just leave because our flight is about, I think it's around 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. So we easily can leave home around midday and still can arrive there in a good time to sit down, have a beer, relax. Last time the vol was a bit late, so I was a bit stressed. You know, I knew everything would work well. I just didn't want to spend another day at the airport before they reallocated us. But everything went well, apart of a bit of delay. And it was exactly the same hours and flights we took last time. We're doing this time again. I'm just wondering, we're going to have a cancellation of the flight again when we come back from Brazil. I wouldn't mind because they gave us £1,600 back as compensation. So yeah, I wouldn't be bothered, but I don't want to stay 12 hours in the airport.
No.
You know? But we will see. Maybe it will be okay. And I made some arrangements with a cousin of mine in Brazil to pick us from the airport to take to my mother's house, which is about 7 hours on the car to go down south from the airport to my mother's. But if we go by bus, that would be maybe 20 hours trip, because from the airport you need to go to the bus station, which depends on the traffic. It can take between 40 minutes or 3 hours to get there. And then once we are there, there is not many buses going the direction of the south, which I want to go. And I can't even buy tickets in advance because I don't know if by the time I get there, if I'm going to be on time for those buses. And it's about 20 hours. So you need to wait 5 hours here, another 3 hours there, another 5 hours somewhere else, you know. And everything what you do is so expensive. Max wants everything what he sees on the way. So I thought I'll spend a little bit more, you know, but get him taking us there. And when I think about a 7 hour trip, it's not too bad because £200 he's charging to take on the way. And then when I say, well, £200 is quite a lot of money. Yes, but when you consider, for example, he's going to pick us from here and they're gonna take me to, for example, to Eastbourne, to right in the south, and then he needs to come back to his town, which is 100 kilometers away from the airport. So he's gonna be on the road for 15 hours. So yeah, I think it's a fair charge what he put in there. It's quite fair. Because surely I wouldn't save even £100 if I would go by bus. It's not even a matter of £100 I would save. So no.
My GP arranged for a lady to come round. This is going back a long time now when I was really struggling even more than now. A social prescriber lady, to try and just see if there's anything she could do to help me become a bit more like involved with the community, because I can't just get in the car and go somewhere and sit and have a coffee. It's just very hard to get out of the house, because wherever you go the chairs are not right, and I come back in agony and wish I'd never gone.
Yeah.
So it's just really hard, if I push myself, I can't do it often, as well. So just to kind of have a bit more interaction. I mean, it's been really nice mum coming and staying. That's lovely, but it's nice to not be so reliant on, on my mum and vice versa. So she suggested a social prescriber looking for a website to find a befriending service.
Okay.
Where I could maybe like meet someone who can call round to see me, or to phone, or a bit of both, and just like have some contact, and a friendship, and so basically I've rung around. There were 4 people that come into that do this area in a befriending service, and basically one didn't reply, the other 2 said they were full, and then the 4th one said, yes, I've got 1 space. So she seemed nice. It was a lady who she phoned me up and we chatted on the phone, and then she said, I'm free on a Wednesday afternoon for 1 hour, and I can come every week until you tell me you don't want me anymore.
Oh, that sounds good.
Sounded really nice.
Oh.
So I thought that sounds great, and she was like going to be like a similar age, and I thought, well, that's nice. And she said that she could just sit and be a friend, or she could help travel to an appointment with me. Although I don't know how that's going to work, because she's only free 1 hour a week at the same time.
I see.
Maybe that's for other people that she does that, but she does do more for elderly people. But she doesn't have any responsibility for medication. She says that's a carer would be needing to come to administer all those things, with the responsibility of not missing it. You know. And you pay whether she can come or not, whether you're available or not. So I thought, okay, that's fair enough. So basically, it was all set up, and she was going to come this week. And then at the last minute, I got an email saying, I'm very sorry, but I can't come anymore. So one of my existing customers has asked if they can have an extra session, and I always do it on a first come, first served basis.
Oh.
So sorry about that. So feel a bit disappointed. I thought I'd really kind of finally got somewhere. So
Jesus, this is frustrating.
it's hard to find anyone, you know what I mean? Even if you're paying them, it's very hard to find someone who, is available. So yeah, just back to square one. I thought maybe I should put an advert in the post office, or somewhere local, just to
What do you need this person for in general?
I'm just in a way just to try and have some friendship. Really, that's the main objective. And maybe also just to, like, if I've had an appointment at the doctor's and I don't know what to do next, I might just need to like talk to them and say, oh, I've had this terrible experience, and just so I'm not like moaning to my mum all the time. And just a friend just to speak to, and um, just because I mean, I don't always get out. I don't go anywhere, and they might say, well, although I'm here to see you, maybe we can think about how you can reach out and make other friends as well. It's like I'm not looking for just one friend. I'm looking
Yeah.
for someone who's prepared, someone who could be a friend, but also maybe help me think about what I'm going to do next with my appointments, or just to talk about a bit of sport, or just something that they're interested in. It's a two-way thing, and yeah, just and maybe work out a way that I can maybe meet other friends, as well. So just to make a start, really, and
Yeah.
because I've got friends that that are just not real friends, and that I just feel like I don't want to pick up the phone and even ring them anymore. They're very selfish and inconsiderate, and I really need to try and find better friends. So because yeah, I just it's just I just sometimes I feel a bit isolated, like I can't always get out of the house, and it would be nice if someone had the capacity to call round here, even if it wasn't every week, if it was just sometimes, and then sometimes they might just phone for a chat.
Yeah.
Because obviously they might be busy. It doesn't have to be the same time every week. But this lady, she operated that way, which is fair enough. And she charged a certain fee, and then she charged a bit extra for the petrol because she lives in Pocklington. So that's fine. That's fair enough. It's just yeah. So I got back to square one. So I thought I could maybe put an advert in the post office, maybe the supermarket, or maybe another idea was the care home. There's a care home in Stamford Bridge, just to see if there's anyone who's maybe a person who works there who might see the advert and think, well, oh, after my shift, I'm already in Stamford. If they're already in Stamford Bridge, they might just think, well, before I go home after my shift, I could call around and see this person, and then go home after that. Maybe something like that might be possible.
I mean, it might even be a cleaner, James, that sees advert.
Yeah.
Just somebody to be a friend.
Yeah.
So.
You can have a look around, James, if you want. You can have a look around if you want.
Yeah. I didn't know if you knew anyone. I suppose it's hard if they don't live nearby. Or just it's just very difficult for me to find new friends, or to just to make us just to get started even.
Yeah.
They might be able to say, well, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? Or I'm just a little bit out of date when it comes to like social media, and I mean, it's just sometimes it's difficult. I mean, I'm thinking it went last year. I had a really bad time, and I couldn't. I could barely get off the floor. And if I end up, it's more like if I end up in that position again, I don't want to feel stuck and on my own and isolated. And Simon's a very good friend, but if I phone him up and said I'm having a really bad day and I'm just like it's another bad day and I don't know what to do and feeling a bit down, I feel like some people you have to phone when you're in a good position. You know what I mean? They're not good with. He would just go silent. He wouldn't know what to say. He's a nice guy, but he's more a good friend if you're having a good day. And my friend Eve, she says sometimes she has got a lot going on in her own head, like she's got her own demons sometimes, and she's not always. She says, "I'm sorry, I'd love to support you, but today I'm having a bad day myself," because she's a bit nervous sometimes, and she has been dealing with things in her own life better recently, but sometimes she goes into a bit of a shell. Like she'll say, "I can't talk on a Sunday. She don't ever ring me on a Sunday because I'm never good on a Sunday because it's like she's got work Monday to Friday, so she's not contactable on a Sunday. Just things like that. I don't know why she gets a bit stressed when she can't handle phone calls on a Sunday. Just things like that. So that they're two good friends, but there's a limit to, when I can phone them or what I can say, as it were. So that's why this lady was going to be similar age to me. I thought she'll be able to manage a normal conversation on a normal day, you know what I mean, on a normal day. So.
Well, I can have a look around for you if you want, James. I can have a look around for you, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, they wouldn't have to come every week, even. Just if they came once now and again. If I wasn't, I'm just thinking if I end up having a bad time, if I have 2 really bad weeks, it might be good to be able to ring somebody a couple of times if they could call round to see me, maybe once in that period, so I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To help get through a tough time. So, and even if you said, well, I'd call round, James, if you were really bad, it's nice to just feel, oh, there's so-and-so coming round and another person later in the week, you know what I mean? It's just, rather than be reliant upon one person and then I'm putting the onus all on my mum, or almost like hoping that you can make it, and it's just not always fair. If you said, I'm sorry, James, I was just going through so much myself right now, and my mum was unable to get her here because she's not going to be able to drive forever, my mum, and so, you know what I mean, I just feel I need to do something while I'm capable, in case, I don't want to go backwards, I don't want to have a bad time, but sometimes I might twist my back and just be in a mess for a month, and I don't want to be going through it all on my own and be isolated. So it'd be nice to just chat to someone about sports or whatever they're interested in, just to touch base and,
You know what? This conversation is quite strange now. Because I was just talking to Ed exactly the same a few days ago. But on the day when we came here, because we took like this trip to the top of the Garamy Hill.
The hill?
Garamy?
Oh, yeah.
So let's just go there to refresh the mind a little bit. And then he was saying, so what do you do normally? Say, hey, look, who I see in these days, I see James once a week. I see one of my students, which is the guy I see every Wednesday, and that's pretty much it. Then I said, well, what do you mean? I said, there's nobody else there. Because all the time you try to call someone, either they don't reply, you send a message to them, a month later, oh, sorry, I haven't seen your message, after 1 month. Some of the other guys, they say, oh, we should meet. They say, oh, yeah, we should. And then when I know they already make arrangements and they are meeting themselves and they just give a call in the morning and say, oh, by the way, it's 8 o'clock now. We're meeting around 12. Can you make it? And I'm like, okay, surely you don't want me to be there because you guys been planning things for a week or two and you call me like a few hours before. And I'm like, so that's why I kind of isolate myself. But of course, I still have like Max, Lucy. Now, I can see Lucy a little bit more, but before one was coming back home, another one was going to work. So I have Max to amuse myself as well. And then I say, so why you don't go and meet other people? Say, who? Because people, they want to hear from you when you are good. But when you feel bad, they don't want to hear about your problems.
It's like there's friends and there's real friends. And sometimes I've got my friend Sue. I don't know if I've mentioned my friend Sue to you before, but she only phones when she's driving. And so it's as if she only phones when she's on a long journey and she's bored.
Oh,
And
really?
she'll just phone, oh, hello, James, I'm just checking in on you, just to ask how you're doing. And it's like, remember, you're always welcome to come and visit me in Middlesbrough. And it's like,
Because she not coming.
yeah, so she won't come here. And yeah, it's just, she's a friend. I met her when I first started teaching. She's got a partner. And yeah, she works part time really, and so yeah, she just doesn't seem to care. She's very self-centered, and yeah, I've sort of said to her, let me know where I can phone you.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, just doesn't reply. Then she'll suddenly text or well, she mainly just rings when she's driving. And it's never a proper conversation. Some people, when they're driving, can't really concentrate.
Yeah.
It's just, hello, just ringing, just checking in, just wondering how you're doing. I've spoken for you for ages. Where have you been? And I'm thinking, what do you mean, where have I been? Where I could say, where have you been as well?
Yeah.
You know, and then she'll sort of say, I'm just wondering what you've been up to. If you've been like busy, how's work going? I've been busy recently with a few things. I can tell you about them another time though. And well, I have to go. I'm nearly at home. I'm nearly arriving at home now. Bye. And it's like such a short, silly, stupid phone call. And then I'll ring her and there's no answer because she won't answer if she's got out of the car. She'll only answer if she's in the car.
Oh,
It's that sort of thing as well. Because she's now got home, she's got better things to do than answer the phone to me. It's just, they're not proper friends.
yeah. James, I see. I'm in contact with people who are in Cheltenham Spa. There's one guy there from Brazil. We met in 2009.
Mm.
In person, we met maybe a few times only in person, but we are on the phone almost all the time. You know, and it's one of the best friends I ever had because whenever I need an advice, first I call him and then, hey nigga, how you doing? And then he say, oh, what's up about you? And then we start talking about, you know, as you said, just to talk about the weather, how things are. So I need to call a guy in Cheltenham Spa to have this conversation because the friends which I have around here, they are not bothered about having that time with me. You know.
Yeah.
And I just started thinking, it's not only to me, but even among themselves. Like, for example, the guy who has this Brazilian restaurant in New York. And the other guy, he has like a little, it's a takeaway, little takeaway in front of McDonald's, just in the city center. And they were partners at some point in the restaurant. Things didn't work well, but they're still friends. Now, if one of them make an event, the other one don't even know what's happening there. And I'm thinking, right, even those people who are there drinking together all the time, they are not hanging out together anymore. I can imagine me who lives like, for them, it feels like I live in, I don't know, Hartlepool, Blackpool. I have to drive 2 hours to see him when I'm about 8 minutes away from them. Oh, but nobody calls. And I'm just like, you know what? That's why I say sometimes it's a gift when someone comes to your life, but when they leave, it's like a blessing. You just leave some of those things behind. And I say, Eddie being back now, so is there. It's a person who I'm going to try to get close again. So as we just said, okay, we should meet, you know, just talk about the weather, just go for like a little trip or just to talk, just to get out of the place where we are. If you want to join us whenever we want to go for another, we say for a trip, no, we just want to sit down and relax and then just, if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to come and join us. When we start.
Who's that? You and
Eddie, the guy who came here to treat you the other day.
yeah.
So as I said, I'm going to give to him some time now before we start meeting again because he's with the family and they're still living like in a small room in one of his friend's house. So he has no job, has no house at the moment. So there are 4 people living in one bedroom. So he's just looking for a job now.
Yeah.
You know, one of those decisions that you make in life sometimes, James,
Yeah.
and you know you're going to regret it. Can you just turn that off for me, James? If you
Yeah.
So yeah, he has done quite few.
Did you say he'd moved back to Brazil? Or he's moved from his...
Well,